Canada.
Okay.
Rugby. Did very well. She's doing very well for herself. Moved out to BC, and then we just progressively kind of
that's
because
tough.
The whole thing was she wanted me to go visit.
Distance is hard.
And see her,
sure.
And it got really complicated. And then there's times of trust issues both ways, and then it just got difficult. And having her being away just made it harder. And then it just turned negative to the point that it was almost not worth investing anymore.
Right.
So I pulled away from that, heartbroken. Absolutely. This is the first time I've actually had my heart broken. It's the first time I had my heart broken.
So how much psychology did you have under your belt at this point?
At this point, not a lot.
No?
About like a year.
Did you ever try to analyze what you were going through?
Absolutely not, because love's blind.
Yeah, you're
love is blind.
Yeah, even the therapists don't know what's up with that.
I got caught up, and this has been the only woman that's ever had had the ability to have me wrapped around her thumb that easily. Because as an alpha male myself, I'm very with women. When it comes to women, I'm very to the point I'm able to regulate, control, and everything that I do. Sure. But then we had this girl who's also an alpha female.
Okay.
And naturally with a clash head, but she was just able to completely submit me, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I liked it.
That's intriguing.
I really did. So it was just. It was different. It was different. And then we had a recent one. Shout out to Emma DeBenko. I see you, girl. Lovely girl.
How recent is this? Because you and I, we last met, last summer? I haven't seen you in a while. It's been a while.
Emma was there last. That was the Nike girl.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
Her. So
things always happen when I meet with you. Last time we met, we were in a fucking news article. Remember that?
We were.
Yeah.
The Islamic one.
Yeah, exactly.
Meet a Muslim.
Yeah, meet a Muslim. Yeah. And then before that, or else we're in a fashion show or some shit.
Show,
yeah, which is always hilarious. But go on, talk about. So recent, is this a recent, you're still together, or a recent split, or what's going on here?
Not that recent of a split.
But it is a split. Are you single right now?
I'm single.
You are single, okay. Yeah. But you're obviously friendly with this girl that you had relations with.
Absolutely. She's probably one of my best ex.
Awesome.
The
best
girl in the world.
Sex or best ex?
Both.
Awesome. Good for you. Shout out to Emma. All right. So let's get into the relationship. Let's get into the details.
So Emma, gosh, what part do you want to know? Gosh.
Well, talk about let's talk about how the relationship was. Were you in love with this girl like you were? This one might be hard to hear, but hopefully it is. Were you, was this your second time falling in love? What happened? Let's talk about the details, and then let's get into the sex that you speak of a little bit.
So I would say yes.
You were in love with her?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and it was perfect. We had an excellent, summer together. First of all, I chased this girl for a very long time.
Okay.
Which stressed me. I've never chased a woman in
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah.
In my whole life, I've never chased. She shut me down for the longest time.
Really?
And,
good for you, Emma.
Right? Eventually came back around. We got together, got to talking. Her really good friend Leah.
Yep.
I attribute a lot to, was actually able to help me, help us connect. Went a couple of dates and whatnot, and just started bonding. Took it very slow, gosh, and eventually went up to her cottage one weekend. We were in Toronto hanging out together or whatever, and asked her out. That cottage weekend, spent all summer together. It was great. Ran marathons and whatnot. Ate tons of vegan food.
Okay, so she's vegan and runs marathons?
Yes.
Okay, good for her.
And a little personal trainer also.
Okay, so all the things that you like.
Essentially.
Are you vegan now?
No, I was.
You
for the first crazy girlfriend. So I was 6 years.
Really?
So she had, and then I reversed. It was funny when I broke up with that one. I went to Smokey's Poutine and had a triple pork just to spite her.
And it just stuck.
Video. I puked everywhere. It was great.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't eat.
Wow.
Oh, it was disgusting.
Wow.
But no, we were good together. We trained together, had fun, and summer's perfect. Her family's amazing. She met my family. We bonded, connected, and then more so, I think when we came back to school, my life picked up because I'm a bit of a workaholic, and I tend to do a lot. And I was having school in the mix plus work, and I was working at TD at the same time in personal training, school.
You do a lot, man.
Shows, right? So it was just it got difficult, and I think it dawned on her because I was seeing her realistically. Let's say every other Saturday, bi-weekly, and she had a very valid statement. I can't afford to be seen bi-weekly, every other Saturday for 2 hours. I'm like, you know what? That's valid.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm working for a particular reason. I have school and things to pay. I have, obligations to focus on. So,
right.
So on her end, I think, yes, you might have acted a bit irrational and jumped to conclusion and had a breakdown one day and left me.
Yeah.
And then literally 4 days later, she realized, and came back. But here's the thing with me with relationship, and trust is key.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can love someone and not trust them.
Yeah.
And have that be problematic, because I don't care how much you love someone. If you can't trust them, you don't trust them.
No,
right?
I agree.
So we had, for me, loyalty is crucial.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that I think that she left in my time of need, and I deem my time to be time of need for her to be there for me, even though I'm going through a difficult time, working my ass off, realistically, to do what? Mostly spend back on you and take care of you and hang out or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can feel comfortable for myself. And you felt the need that me doing that or working too much was problematic to the point that I can't let you back into my life. Because what if, if you can't stick with me when things are negative now, what are you going to do when, in the future? What are you going to do when it's better? What are you going to do? So like the moment you pull away from me, I find, I respect you. I care for her deeply. Obviously, whatever she needs within reason, she can get.
Yep.
We're mutual friends where, I care for her deeply, but as far as dating, it's hard for me to regain trust just because of past relationships, right? So I'm very in and out. If you're here for me, you're here for me. If we're going to ride together. If not, so be it, right? So it's unfortunate, but
So you're kind of a very committed guy. You're not one of those guys that goes and you're not on Tinder every weekend sleeping around. You prefer the intimate, just a caring relationship.
Yes, and even, let's be real. Even if I were to be having, let's say, a side girl or whatever you want to call her, or a fuck buddy, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I find myself still developing these relationship type characteristics because I want to be able to nurture and take care of that one person. Even though there's no label of us being in a relationship, I still thoroughly enjoy just having you and me, body fluids, whatever it is, we're connecting.
Yeah. Can you separate the two? Like if she's not committed to you and there's no label and there's another guy in the picture, can you still be that guy if you know there's another guy?
Absolutely not.
No. So there still has to be potential of you committing to each other.
If I'm not good enough for you, then you can't. If I'm not enough for you, then why are you with me?
Right.
Period. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care if we're just fucking. The rules are simple.
Yeah.
By all means, I cannot own you. You are more than free to interact with another individual, another male. By all means, do whatever you want. But the moment you do, our relationship physically does not exist. And you just tell me, and I respect you, and you respect me, and we're fine.
Yeah.
I don't own you, you don't own me. But if I were to do something behind your back, right away you would know.
Yeah.
And it's not more so for an egotistical type kind of thing. No, it's just more so for simple cleanliness.
Sure.
No, I don't.
You care about yourself.
You know what I mean?
In your body, and you care. I get it. So you're not trying to be some kind of controlling man. You're just you have some rules that are important to you that need to be followed for you to stick into this, and that's okay. It's all about compromise and about what you and the other person can handle. Mm-hmm. You don't want to push someone. For example, if you couldn't, and she said, "Well, can you try for me?" and you know that you can't right off the bat, you're just going to develop all these feelings, and you know it's going to be wrong.
Exactly.
So if you know where you stand, that's being self-aware. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. So, you said that you had some of the best sex in some of these relationships. So let's talk about what it's like being a guy that's obviously well known in athletics. You have a lot of popularity, out at the bar and things like that as well, right? So, what's your sex life like? Have you done some one night stands before? Have you lived the college, university experience? Have you been that athletic jock type? That's do you fit this? I know you don't fit the stereotype, but have you played into it a little bit?
Not as much as many actually think. That's the funny thing. I'm even shocked at this because and
there's nothing wrong with that. I respect that.
Yeah, the opportunity certainly has arose numerous times, but it's just I think as an individual you need to be able to pick and choose. And I'm a very particular individual when it comes to, women I interact with, right? Because there's a type.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're potentially a one night stand. I don't care if you're potentially a girlfriend. I don't care if it's just a cute girl talking to me. I have a type, and most likely that type can come in any shape, size, color, what, it doesn't matter to me. But these type tend to not have the characteristics to even allow a one night stand to happen in the first place, right?
Right.
And these are the women I find that I attract the most.
Yeah.
So, and it's just, that funny, intellectually stimulating. I don't care if we're drunk at the bar. If you can't make me laugh or even hold a conversation for 5 seconds, I'm not prolonging that conversation. I don't care how beautiful you think you are, you are.
Sure.
Right? So
you're a lot like me in the sense that obviously women, you can notice an attractive woman and you can sense beauty, but if you don't have any depth, you're walking away pretty quick. Yeah.
Because it's pointless. Because then it's just meaningless sex.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny because I think, in between, serious relationships, and I went through my little, phase of, I don't have a girlfriend right now. I want to be able to do whatever it is I wanted to do. You'd meet these girls that are, the Insta type. And I've had some beautiful girls.
Sure, don't
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But then
Western is known for that.
But at the end of the day, it's just physical.
Yeah.
And then immediately after that physical happens, you notice that whole, appearance, that whole facade that you had of this individual is almost lessened, and it's sad, but it's a reality.
Yeah.
Because it was given up so quick.
Yeah.
Right. So then you have that connection for that one night, that 2 time, that 3 time, now it dies off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just, after that, I think I've grown older now. It's just more so now I'm finding it's much more beneficial for me to invest in meaningful anything. I don't care even if it's not going to be a relationship, just being able to invest in someone that has that mentality.
Right.
Of like, even if we're just sleeping with each other, we know we are just sleeping with each other. It's a very mature, mutual thing. We're talking about it, and it's okay.
I have a question for you. What if she did give it up in the first night, but she was very intellectually deep? Because, I mean, I know you're saying sometimes it's worth the wait, right? And sometimes if they give it up that quick. But what if she's so intriguing, but she's just very sexual? She's a very sexual creature.
Then you can gauge. I've actually interacted with a female just like that.
Yeah? Okay. So
not long ago.
So did the fact that she gave it up so quickly, because I know that, we're in kind of a sexually awakening period where men and women are just kind of, let's face it, hooking up pretty quick, a lot quicker than maybe ever before, and there's not a lot of holding off or waiting going on anymore. So does that factor in? Or if they gave it up that quick, would you say, oh, well, would that always sit in the back of your mind, no matter how intellectually deep she is or how compassionate she is? She fucked me on that first night, so I'll always remember that. I'm curious because I want to know what it's like to be this age again.
But it depends.
Yeah.
Right? It depends more so because I think now, let's say that same individual that gave it up that first night, you and this girl start spending more time together, and you find out how deep, of an intellect she is.
Sure.
You find out how, amazing she really is, but just happens to be that sexual person. The more prolonged time you spend with this individual, the more you start to learn and attach. And I think before what I did was the fact that if I sense that that's the kind of individual they are, that just give it up easy and whatever, I never really continued anything else with that. So I never got that opportunity. But I think obviously if you are spending time with that person afterwards, it's a natural human tendency thing. You're gonna grow to learn to connect, right?
Yeah.
With that individual. So you can certainly overlook that. Because there are a lot of girls just like that. Don't get me wrong.
No,
right?
for sure.
But,
I think more so than ever before.
Exactly. It happens, right? So in those situation, really, I think time will tell type of thing, right? So it really depends on that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because when that comes up sometimes, I worry about men, anyone really in a relationship, when there's a one night stand and the relationship's built off that and it's happened quickly, because that happened with you, when they go out, on their own, can you get jealous, or does your mind start playing games thinking like, well, they fucked me that first night, what if they get drunk and they,
I agree with what you said. I also think too, though, like, I mean, I'm thinking back on times when that's kind of happened, and like I always, like, I don't know, you can analyze it and break it down so much, but like I feel like there's situations where that happens where you can kind of tell, like, okay, so this isn't the first time she's done this before.
Sure.
And then there's situations where I've had that happen where it's like first or second date when you have sex, and it's kind of like, well, this is really quick, but like at the same time, like I feel like we have a really, really good vibe going on here, like a really strong connection.
Yeah.
And in that situation, I kind of go, okay, well, yeah, okay, it's a little more acceptable. It makes more sense to me now.
Sure.
Maybe, 2-3 weeks down the road, I'm not going to be like, well, I wonder what she's doing tonight kind of thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you also kind of take into consideration the kind of